Okay, so if you're in the AI world, you know what your X feed is like. It's a total fire hose of hype, noise, and opinions, right? But what if you could cut through all of that and turn it into like your single most powerful tool for building your career? That's what we're going to break down today. This is the playbook for turning X from a major distraction into a direct line to the people who are actually building the future.
See, right now, there are basically two different versions of X competing for your attention. Over on the left, you've got the influencer feed. It's loud, it's full of hot takes, and honestly, it's designed to just keep you scrolling forever. But then on the right, there's the builder feed. And this is where the real magic is. This is the signal. It's full of actual product demos, deep insights, and real, genuine connections to the people creating what's next in AI.
So, I want you to just take a second and think about your own timeline. Right now, is it a source of distraction or is it a source of real opportunity? Because the feed you choose to build, well, that's what's going to determine the results you get. So, how do we actually fix this? It's a pretty simple two-part playbook. And part one is all about mastering your feed. It's time to take control of the algorithm instead of letting it control you.
Okay, first things first, let's get our terms straight. When I say a builder, I'm not talking about someone who just talks about AI. No. These are the founders, the researchers, the engineers who are in the trenches, the ones actively creating and shipping products. They are the signal you've been looking for.
And this brings us to the most important foundational rule for cleaning up your feed. And it's so simple. Follow the builders. You've got to prioritize the people who are doing the work, not just the ones who are talking about it.
But you might be wondering, how do you find them? Well, it's a really simple, repeatable process. First, you start with the giants, the big labs like OpenAI and Anthropic, and of course their founders. Then you put on your detective hat. You start digging into who they follow, who they retweet, whose work they're sharing. And as you consistently engage with this high-signal content, they're literally teaching the algorithm what you want to see. Before you know it, your feed will transform into this amazing builder-focused timeline.
So that's part one, all about consumption. Now for part two of the playbook. Once you're taking in all the right information, it's time to start creating opportunities for yourself. And we're going to do this by completely rethinking how we communicate, using a little strategy I like to call the public DM. Let's just face a harsh reality for a second. We have all been there. You slide into a founder's DMs, you've crafted the absolute perfect message, and then crickets. Nothing. Look, it's not personal. Your message is just one single drop in an ocean of hundreds they get every single day. The odds are just completely stacked against you. So, if the front door is completely flooded, we need a new way in. And here is the core idea, the big shift in thinking. Treat the public post as your direct message. Instead of fighting for attention in a private, ridiculously crowded inbox, you create value out in the open where everyone can see it. And listen, this is not about just tweeting, at company, great product, no way. A high-quality public DM provides real, actual value. Build a cool little project with their tool and then share what you made. Write a really thoughtful post about how their product solved a real-world problem for you. Give genuine, specific praise and then tag the founders. See the difference? You're not asking for anything, you're giving something. Valuable feedback and authentic appreciation. All right, so you've curated your feed. You're posting high-value content. So what's the payoff? What actually happens? This is where the strategy goes from being just a clever idea to being an absolute career game changer. This simple shift in mindset from a push strategy where you're trying to get attention to an attract strategy where you pull people in with genuine value, it changes everything. The results are, well, they're way more effective than you can probably imagine. How effective? Well, if you tag a founder in a high-quality value-add post, you have a 90% chance of getting a reply. Just let that sink in for a second. 90%. You go from being one of 500 ignored DMs to a nearly guaranteed interaction. That's insane. And look, that reply isn't the end goal. It's just the starting pistol. That positive public interaction, that often leads to a coffee chat. And that chat helps you build a real connection. And that connection is what opens the door to an on-site visit and a serious conversation about your future. You can literally see the funnel here. It starts with a single post and it ends with a real opportunity. So the takeaway here is crystal clear. Stop shouting into the void of a crowded inbox and start building in public. Your next thoughtful post isn't just a post. It could very well be your next coffee chat, your next interview, your next job. So the only real question left is, which builder are you going to shout out first?